Hey guys, let's talk about Patreon. Patreon is a platform that enables you to support this podcast for as little as £3 a month.
For that £3 a month, you get access to an exclusive episode every week where we're at home, we get chonged, sometimes we go on Omegle on mushrooms, and you also get access to a live show that we do every month.
The live shows are mental. You're missing out if you're not there in person or watching them on our Patreon. We get local comedians to come up and do 1 minute of their best stand-up for you, and then we ask them very intrusive questions on stage. It's hilarious, it's awkward, I love it, and we have special guest panellists with us. So we've just had Dan Nightingale, we got Freddie Quinn on the next one, we'll have Adam Rowe on one of the future episodes. It's all very exciting, an absolute bargain for £3 a month.
There's also a huge back catalogue of Shed episodes, tarot readings that Amy used to do for our guests, and you get early access to the public episodes every week. You also get early access to live show tickets and any merch that we bring out.
The more you pay, the more you get. So our £5 patrons get members only club cards, they get a print, they get a discount on tickets. £10 as well as the members only club card, they get a signed print, they get discount on merch, and they get a free ticket to the live shows, which is a ridiculous value for money.
Every month.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
So sign up today for as little as £3 a month. It's not even £1 a week. You get all that stuff we just said. Come join us in our house, your two favourite northern stoners.
Yeah.
It's dead fun over here. Join the club. Get involved. Enjoy this week's episode.
It's a party up in here.
Whoop whoop.
I do believe we're sponsored by Manscaped.
Oh. And you know when I'm prepping my balls to dip them in household condiments, I'm using Manscaped products. We just received our performance package, and including in that, you get the Lawnmower 4.0, which is this nifty little shaver. Very lightweight. It's waterproof. Got a little light on it so you can really see what's going on down there. You also get Crop Reviver Ball Toner. Give your balls a little spritz, make them smell nice. And you also get some anti-chafing ball deodorant. Look at that. Lovely balls. I'm hairy up here. I'm smooth as a seal from the neck down.
Ladies, we go through so much grooming, from eyebrows to eyelashes, hair and nails. The very least your fella can do is tidy up his horrible scraggly ball sack. If you're looking for a chunky gift for your man, look no further than Manscaped.
Join the 4 million men worldwide who have reduced odour, their chance of ingrown hairs, nicks and cuts on the ball bag. Get yourself a performance package today. Use the code TMHC20 at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. Plus, you get a little gift with it. These anti-chafing underpants. Very soft.
They feel amazing.
And you also get this bag, which is nice and smooth, like your bag will be when you use the Lawnmower 4.0.
You know, if you're looking to buy a gift for your dad, now I don't know much about dads, but from what I see in the films, they've got hairy noses and hairy ears. Well, in that case, the Weed Whacker. Perfect for those hairy crevices.
Get on it. Manscaped.com. Use code TMHC20 at checkout, 20% off, free shipping. Your balls will thank you. Your missus will thank you. Your fella will thank you.
Your dad'll thank you.
Your dad'll thank you. Go get it. We love yous.
Love you.
Back to the show.
Bye.
Nice one. Go ahead. We're back. I don't know what number it is. 60?
Is that my ginger beer?
420? No.
Where's my ginger beer? Oh, okay.
Go ahead. It's a good start.
I was going to say there was two. There definitely was two.
Good start to the podcast.
Episode 60.
Hey, 420. Very special guest here. Daniel Sloss, everybody.
Hey.
Absolutely crazy. It seems real surreal that you're here, to be honest, but thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Well, I was just anytime anyone in the UK does anything pro-marijuana, I'm desperate to be involved.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, I've just always, I don't know why there isn't a weed culture here.
I think there is. It's just a bit secret, innit? It has to be a bit secret.
But it's not like when you think of American weed culture, it's, we all good?
Oh, sorry, I don't think my mic's on.
Push that one up. Yeah.
Oh, shit, there we go. Jesus. Dr. Dre is it then?
Go on.
Sorry about
like in America, like there's pot culture. It's called fucking pot culture.
Yeah.
I remember you grow watching not even just musicians who smoke weed, but comedians whose whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
Right, fucking Doug Benson.
Yeah.
Like fucking like Super Jaime, all that stuff. And you grow up watching it as a teenager here, and you're like, Who's our fucking stoner?
I know.
Yeah.
People think we're like scum. Like Glenn Wall was like soccer mums, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were talking about
mums.
weed and that, and he was like, you're a soccer mum. I was like, oh, quite edgy over here for doing that.
Well, because I get not. Well, I mean, kind of bullied by like other comedians in Australia and stuff because I've been a stoner since I was 15.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm all, and their whole thing is that I'm just the legalize it guy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but they should legalize it.
Yeah, there's no one else doing it, is it? Yeah, like you say, over here, if it's like grime rappers or whatever, people will see that in a bad light or whatever. We're just here being like, we just want to get high and have fun. Can we do that, please?
I always thought with Doug Benson, because I used to like Doug Benson, but wouldn't it get tiring being the pot comic? Like,
No.
I know, that's so weird.
Yeah. Well, I don't reckon it ever gets tiring being the pot comic, but I reckon it gets tiring playing to pot crowds.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I've played to stoned audiences and I've been stoned and I've played to equally stoned audiences, and it's fun. But I reckon you get to the point where you're trying to write a good joke, and everyone in your audience is just fucking blazed out.
Too high to follow where you're going with it and stuff. Yeah,
they lose their train of thought. You lose your train of thought. You go, "What was I saying?" And they're like, "We don't know."
Just sitting in the old punchline from another joke. Everyone's like, "What you done
Makes
there?"
sense.
Do the same special every year, and they'd be like, "Never heard this before."
Hey, it's so good. Yeah. Doing callbacks for jokes you haven't set up, but they don't remember that it's still a callback. They're like, "It's genius."
But then it's the fans as well, and the fans want to smoke with you after every show.
That's the shit I fucking love. Like, that's one of the bits where, like, people always go, you must get so bored of, like, people coming up to you in the street and saying, "Oh, I love you, I think you're great." You're like, no. First of all, random strangers telling you they think you're class randomly during your day is a gift for mental health that nobody else
it's a lovely
has.
little perk, isn't it? You're like, oh, nice one, go ahead, yeah. So
just in a store, you're walking down, you're like, I'm having a miserable day. And someone's like, I think you're great. And you're like, oh, no, I'm having a fucking great day. The other part is anywhere I go in the world to do gigs afterwards, 99% of the time by the stage door is some fucking fan with a spliff. Now, you could be the biggest weirdo in the world. If you bring me a joint, I'll talk to you for 10 minutes.
that's what we've done. We've enticed him. We give you an edible, Daniel. Come down. He's like, okay, I'll come.
Well, I mean, you have. Yeah, I was expecting this to be because it's called the Mild High Club. So I really thought, from what I've listened to and everything, that it was going to be out the back, cheeky wee spliff, back in. No, here's an edible. And I went, how strong is it? And you went, oh.
That's how we do it here. I might be melting into this chair soon, but that's fine. It's 4:20. We're having a fun
Shout out
time.
Medusa Kitchen for supplying us.
So what you were saying?
Wait, hold on. Is it actually 4:20 today?
No, but it will
this
be when it
coming
comes.
out.
This coming out on 4. Sorry,
I felt like the worst.
eat that right now.
I would have had to. I can't be sitting here being like, there's no pot culture in the UK, and then not down an edible
That's
at
our
4:20.
Christmas.
No, so this is like going to be our 4:20 episode.
God,
So that's why we were like, right, I'm not driving today. We're getting on it. But you were mentioning just before we started that you were in Vegas and you wanted to take the strongest edible you could.
Yeah, because like on tour, can you smoke on stage? Well, not smoke on stage, obviously, but can you?
I think I've been up once where I've had the smoke. I think I could do it.
Yeah,
I'd like to try it. Yeah.
You can. It's
see where it takes me as well, because I think you do something different. Because I write when I'm high. And then read back over it and go, what the fuck am I on about here?
That's my process is write sober, edit once drunk, edit once high, and then just have all three parts of your consciousness.
That's a great idea,
Didn't Frankie Boyle write a whole book on acid?
I don't know.
I think so. He's not done drugs in a while. Frankie's one of those comedians who like tapped out of drugs and booze before, and then will tell everyone, "Oh, I used to be such a bad alcoholic." You're like, I don't know the stories, so you just sound like a quitter to me.
Sorry, interrupting the story there. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'd also lost my train of thought anyway, which will happen a lot.
Edible in Vegas.
Oh yeah, so we're getting to. I've smoked weed for years. I can do vast amounts of it. I know my tolerance, especially when I'm on tour. Like 2 tours ago, I was having a really shit time. And like I was away too much from home, and there was one gig, and I remember exactly where it was. I'd fully lost the will to tour and had at minimum 70 shows left of the tour.
Fucking hell, right? And
we're in Vienna, Austria, and I've got a fucking vape pen on me, and I'm due to go on stage. I'd had like a couple of drinks just to cheer me up, And before I walked on stage, I looked Kai, my supporter acting best friend, dead in the fucking eyes and took the biggest puff of weed he's ever. And he was like, "You can't go on like that." And I'm like, "Nothing matters anymore." Like, I've stopped caring. And I went on stage and the show was absolutely fine. And I'd done it so many times at that point that muscle memory got me through it. And at that point, I learned no lesson. I was the most stoned I'd ever been on stage. I felt the worst, and I still had a fucking great gig. And I'm like, right, so I'm immortal then. There's nothing I can do to fuck up my own show. So when I'm in America, I'll smoke all during the day. I'll smoke before I go on stage. It calms me down. It gets me in the right fucking headspace. So my tolerance is normally quite big. But UK tolerance.
You're messing with a different thing over there, aren't you?
It's well, we were talking about this just before. These edibles here. Now, without snitching.
A lovely fan of ours sent us them.
Okay.
She sent us quite a few.
I'm gonna assume she is obviously a sweets maker. She's made this at home herself with the.
That's what I think. Yeah.
She does like big munch boxes of edibles.
Oh yeah.
She's great. Yeah. We'll tell you her Instagram.
Please do tell me her Instagram. Well, because I love the fact that like our government's not close to legalising it, and just a bunch of sound cunts in the UK have just gone, you know what, we'll do it. Like, right, I'm going to get my gran out of retirement. She makes the best bonbons. We're going to get fucking brownies. Like, I've had some really nice edibles, but none of us know the dosage of this.
Oh, no,
And it's all sort of like, it's like, I put like an ounce in there.
It's kind of that,
it's kind of 50 mil, I guess. Grams, what are we going with? Whereas America's all...
to the point in it,
like it's done with Bunsen burners and there's a cunt with glasses on dripping all the stuff in, getting the measurements. Like, there's this amazing place in Vegas, which is like the Apple store of marijuana, right? It's like you go in, they take your passport. When you go in, you literally get a genius. You sign up, you go, oh, my name, and they'll give you a number. Right. And everyone wants it to be 420, and it's never 420. And then
probably skip that one on purpose, don't they?
That and 69. Because they're so bored of stoners getting randomly and missing their appointments. But then you get to walk around the store a bit, and then you get given a weed genius, right? And they come up and they're like, "What do you want?" And I'm from fucking Scotland, where it used to go through, like Fife used to go through dry spells where you wouldn't be able to get any fucking green for a week.
Right, okay, yeah.
And they're like, "What do you want?" You're like, "To get high." And they're like, "What kind of high?" And you're like, "I don't know what that means." I didn't know there were other types. And I went, give me a bedtime one, give me a daytime one, give me one that I can have in the fucking casinos. And then also just give me like the biggest edible you've got. Because I love being stoned in airports.
Right, okay.
Love it.
Fly high, yeah.
Oh, if you ever see me in an airport, it is safe to assume I'm stoned like a fucking nut.
See, I hate flying me, so I think trying to fly high is like the worst thing I could do.
We went round Universal Studios and Disneyland. That was really good.
Real good. Yeah, Which one? Real one or?
In LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we had a similar experience with the weed shops there. You know, like it's like an Apple shop in it. It's mad. It's so good. You can get like weed beer and like the strips you put on your tongue and all that shit. It's just so much easier to do over there.
Yeah, and they give it. You're like, I don't fancy smoking it today. It's like, that's fine. We'll find a way to shove it up your ass. Welcome to God's nation. Like,
it's a lip balm.
It's so good. Honestly, it is like that.
You're like, I'm blind. I'm deaf. I can't eat. My asshole's cold. You're like, there's a woman who will spit some stuff down the end of it. Look, we'll get it in your system.
It's amazing. So do you know how strong it was?
It was 100 milligrams.
Okay, that's pretty decent, isn't it?
Oh, right. Yeah. And I'll take 10 during the day. Like if I'm about to go into an airport, what I'd normally like is anywhere between 30 and 50, and you time it. Because man, I've been through every airport at least 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Like, and also I know how airports work. All this paranoia, as long as you don't have drugs on you,
it's fine.
Nobody gives a shit. It's not school. And even if they know you're high, they're not going to do anything.
You can't stop you flying.
Yeah, you're high, right?
Yeah.
Would you think I'm going to fucking take over? What's going to happen next?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to eat all your fucking little free pretzels. and none of the staff in the airport give a shit. I have a friend that used to work security, and I was like, how much do you guys care about like drugs and stuff? And he was like, that's just the international border people. He's handed people their bags of cocaine back to them at airport security when it's like they've come in, they've taken out their wallet out of their pocket, a baggie comes out, falls in front of him, and they're life drains from their face. It's their entire career and their family flashes before their eyes. And he's like, I get paid minimum wage.
Yeah, I'm not asked.
Yeah.
In America as well, some of the staff there probably hire themselves, like where it's legal.
America's. Oh yeah, it depends what part of America.
Yeah.
Like, there'd be some states I might not risk it, but you can always take an edible before you walk into a fucking airport and go through. So I'm like, give me 100 milligrams of. And we're in Vegas, and we go out and get horrendously fucking drunk, and we smoke weed and do everything. I think before we went to bed, I took 50 milligram one. I was like, this is a nice bedtime one, and slept for I think 14 hours in a row.
They do knock it out sometimes, don't they?
Oh, and like those sleeps where like you wake up and there's 10 minutes of, is this still a dream? Is this?
Yeah,
How
like
real is it?
lucid.
Or like, I don't know if you. Sometimes when I get high, I don't know what happens to my bladder. I need to piss.
Right.
Heaps more. I mean, it comes from smoking it, but it's that thing when you're so stoned, you go. My body's saying, I know I need a pee, but how much do I need a pee?
He poos every time.
Hey, embarrassing in front of Daniel Sloss here. No, what I think it is because you ingest it and it relaxes everything. As soon as it starts kicking in, I'm like, need to poo. So I'll probably have to go, we could stop that for a minute there. Because I think it's just everything relaxing. So like it relaxes absolutely everything on me where I'm like, bowels are coming. It's
like a light rush.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Mushrooms, though, they make you wee a lot.
Really?
Yeah, constantly.
To the point when we thought we were having like kidney failure.
Yeah.
Because we read like...
ourselves, it was like, it was poisonous.
Yeah, because it was like, if you pick the wrong ones, your kidneys might shut down.
Oh, did you pick the mushrooms yourself?
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah, see, fuck that.
See, I'm so paranoid though. We've done enough research to the point of like, I know exactly what one I'm picking up here.
Oh yeah.
So I'm such a paranoid person that I wouldn't have, even if it looked a little bit wrong, I'd go, no, not that one.
It was so fun. It was like primal because it's like what our ancestors would have done. So
yeah, we went mad.
But like, even though there was people coming down, we was like, right, at natural, like I couldn't stop like picking them. It was like something
like just
primal.
stop picking them up for 2 seconds while these people walk past you. Like,
it's like crap.
oh, okay, sorry.
I smoke weed most mornings going to work, and each morning I'm on the train going, why'd you get this high? Why did you get this high? And I feel like people are watching me, but no one gives a shit. No one's asked.
You do that every time.
The paranoia is real, but you have to break through it. The first 10 times I was high in an airport, I was definitely paranoid.
Yeah.
The 1008th time you're high in a fucking airport, man, you could put a bomb in my bag and I reckon I could fucking pass it off. I'd be so chill. I'd be like, I have no idea.
It must be refreshing as well because you get so many like belligerent drunk cunts in airports.
Yeah.
So, someone on an edible, they're probably like, yeah, get him through.
It calms you down because, man, like I'm a fucking control freak. Right?
Yeah.
So if I can't control the situation, it just causes me great anxiety. And in airports, when everything's on a time schedule, and even though everyone's got a flight to catch, the people that work in the airport seem unaware that everyone's on a strict time schedule. I would be a murderer. Like I would have done the fucking scene from Call of Duty 4, whatever that. Like,
No Russian.
Yeah, I would kill everyone in a fucking unless I was. You take an edible. If there's a big stupid American cunt standing in front of me, taking up the door, looking at his thing, normally all I would want to do is fucking donkey punch him in the back of the head and then walk over. But when you're stoned, you're like, you know what, buddy, find your flight. Take as long as you need. You know what? I'll double check my flight while I'm here. You know what? You can never be too fucking careful.
Maybe it should be mandatory. Maybe they should just like, if you're coming in, like a little few drops of oil on your way.
I've always thought that because you do. I mean, if you're if you're a stoner and you get it regularly, and all the things that you find wrong with yourself that marijuana helps calm you down, whatever your thing is, you do go, oh, I wish everyone could have this. And then you'll hang out with other people who smoke weed and they get too high, and you go, you should never be allowed to smoke weed. I've been stoned with you a bunch of times, and you're real bad at it.
Yeah, it's like similar when some people drink and they get like shark eyes, don't they? And just become absolute nightmares.
And it's not a good version of yourself. I think there are some people who are more suited to booze. I think there's people that are more suited to weed.
Definitely.
I think there's people that are more suited to Molly. But I also think there's some people you go, your regular personality is not good enough for you to be bringing any of the other ones out there, buddy.
That's funny, man. So you had this edible?
No, I fucking chickened the fuck
Oh,
out.
did you?
Right.
Okay.
Man, I just because like it was like we'd done 2 days in Vegas, we were flying somewhere to do a show that night, and I'm like, I know what I'm capable of, but I wasn't willing to take it through the airport because I'm never. I'll eat a bunch of edibles before a flight, but I'll never risk taking any weed on the plane. My job is traveling. I'll never risk.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck not being able to go back to America or anything like that.
Yeah, you know, half my fucking
just for an
career is
edible.
over there. Yeah, aye. And even though they don't care, it's never.
You never know.
gonna
You
be-
might get the one fucking absolute grass.
Yeah.
Who's just like, oh, you've got this. Fucking,
Yeah, the fucking job's worth. And of course, there's going to be one in the States.
Yeah.
So with like a broken heart, because I don't know what it was like getting weed when you were growing up, but I always remember not being able to get weed.
Yeah.
And those horrible nights, days, weeks, whatever it was, that I cannot throw weed away.
Yeah,
But when it does,
yeah,
it makes
yeah.
me feel physically sick. And I'm just staring at this fucking edible going, I can't do I can't do a full 100 milligram.
Yeah.
So I think I bit off about 40 and then apologized to my teenage self. And then got on the flight and was like, I probably
Should have done
I
that one.
probably could have done it.
Yeah.
I always do that with like mushrooms and that. I do a few, and then while they're kicking in, I go, should have done more. And then all right, next time I do these, I'm going to do more. And then I get to come to do it, and I go, I'll take it easy. I'll just take it easy. Like every time.
Mushroom scares the shit out of me, man.
Have you done them
Mushrooms
before?
my drug.
Is that your one?
Yeah.
What about it?
It just relaxes me and I just laugh the whole time. I love it.
So, but are you doing heavy doses, or are you like microdosing it and you're just getting a gentle buzz
Been like
for the
too
day?
heavy.
2 grams or something.
Yeah.
So you're like just on the verge of like starting to see visuals,
Aye.
but you can fully
Yeah.
be in control of everything.
And then like the consequences of it days after is like a boost in confidence.
Oh.
So it's just really nice. I like
great
it.
all the way through.
Yeah.
Have you ever microdosed it?
Nah, just because we haven't had the supply, but
Aye.
a fan at one of your shows said,
Someone's gonna teach me how to grow them,
Aye.
and then we're gonna start like microdosing them and that. Because I've always wanted to try that, because it's like half, like 0.5 of a gram or
it's so
something. and
small, and it's my
yeah.
friend microdoses, doesn't do any drugs at all. Like literally doesn't smoke weed, doesn't do coke, doesn't drink booze for some reason. But he's just like, shrooms is the fucking ticket for me.
yeah.
And and he microdoses them during this day, and it makes him more creative, and makes him happier.
That's
I've tried it, also on airplanes, because I'm always.
That's just your go-to place to try stuff
Yeah.
out. at airports and that.
I'll always chicken out of doing something until the final minute, and then I can't take any of this through an airport.
Ah,
so
right,
I always just
yeah.
go, well, I mean, or I'll go through my pockets and I'll go, oh fuck, I've still got that baggie on me.
Right.
I've still got that. Yeah.
I don't know about mushrooms on a plane.
Microdose, not like. But I mean, no, it was good. I was getting some. You take it before, you get through security, and I'm just in the lounge, and just like the visuals fucking started going, and then that sort of weird aura that you feel around your body. That was as far as I got.
Yeah.
And then just stared out the window, just be like, fucking mad that we get to do this.
Yeah. That's boss.
When I was in Amsterdam on my own, the last time I went, I had like not a lot of weed, but enough. And I tried to, in the central station, there's a homeless guy, and I was like, yeah, man, do you want to take this? And he was like, no, not for me. And I was like, well, sell it at least. You know what I mean? You don't have to smoke it.
So I don't. Who's buying weed off a homeless man in Amsterdam? Though,
Yeah,
when you're
maybe
in
people
Amsterdam,
just ask him that ever, and he's like, no more. I can't take it.
just so high. Just like I can't turn it down. But we had the girl who sorts us out these. She makes these milkshakes or lemonades, and the whole bottle's 500 milligrams. And we were like, oh, it'll be dead fun. We'll just drink half each and try and do a podcast.
I was like, we do Joey Diaz.
Yeah. And like 10 minutes into it, I went, I need to pause this podcast for a minute. And then we come back the day later, because I just went to bed.
Yeah.
We went to bed at like 2 p.m.
Just holding on to the duvet.
I woke up the next day. Like because like with edibles, what I find, you might see it happening to me in a bit, I don't know. But I feel like when it's coming on, it feels like you're going, one little pain in my body. I'm like, away from panicking, and then you get over that and you're like, dead nice high this.
Yeah.
But with that, because it was come on so strong, I was like, I know I'm going to be okay, but the next 20 minutes is going to be rough. Like, so I was just lying in bed going, oh my God, it's just a weird, like, it's crazy.
It doesn't matter how fucking much of a seasoned stoner you are as well. If you get too high, always one part of your brain goes, but you might be the first person to die on
Yeah.
it.
Definitely.
And that's not a legacy.
And it'd be shit for
Anyone
us as well.
wants. Yeah.
Like, we've got a whole podcast based around it.
Yeah.
He,
It'd be fucking
he died, you know. We're like,
We'd be
"Ugh."
the cunts that ruined it
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
we'd be the fucking Leah Betts.
Yeah.
We'd be the Leah Betts of the Stoner
Just ruining it for
generation.
everyone, yeah.
Aye.
But like, fuck, I forgot what I was going to say now. But like, that was it. Like, when people have edibles for the first time, say they go to Amsterdam and they go, I don't want to smoke it, we'll just have a space cake.
Aye.
And then they go, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
If that milkshake was the first time I'd ever touched it, I'd be
Yeah.
like, I'm never touching that ever again. How do people function on that?
But those are the people that I don't think should be allowed to fucking smoke weed. See, here's who's banned from marijuana from me instantly and
Go
for
on.
the rest of the fucking time. And I'll stick my mother in this group, and so many other people. See people that they've never smoked before, they've never done it before, which is fine. It's your choice. Live your life. And then when you do it for the first time, they'll take tiny little puff, blow it out, no inhalation, doesn't go into the thing, and they'll go, I'll leave it. And then 20 minutes later, for the next 2 hours, they'll be like, I guess it just doesn't affect me. You're like, oh yeah. You're the only person in the fucking world who this substance doesn't affect. You're a fucking miracle. Scientists should do research on you, you stupid fucking... You've not smoked it properly. I get it all the time.
Yeah,
just
man.
I guess if people take small amounts of edible, I guess it just doesn't affect me. Fuck off. What are you, a medical marvel? Like, just, you tell you what, yeah, you're going to get cancer one day and they're going to do chemo on you and it's just not going to work because you're going to be the one fucking guy because your body's a fucking miracle. You twat. You did it fucking wrong.
You're doing it wrong, everyone.
You can always
It's like
tell
that.
as well how thick the smoke is if they've inhaled it or not. If it's too thick, you're like, amateur hour.
Yeah, straight out.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh yeah,
But
whatever.
it's the equivalent of doing a shot and just letting it dribble down the sides of your fucking mouth. It'd be like some cunt coming up, just some buka and absinthe, just covering their shirt, and they're like, I guess booze doesn't affect me. You're like, no, you're not good at booze. You're not allowed to drink anymore, you fucking wank.
Yeah, man. Oh, that's funny. That.
Just wearing all of his ale
Yeah.
instead.
Because my mum, who I love dearly, like when I was young, I remember very specifically, like she found my weed stash when I was about 18 years old. I'd flown over to Ireland to do our first ever like international gigs because I was still living at home. My mum cleaned out my room because I was a fucking 18-year-old living at home, and she's a good mum.
Yeah.
And she just wanted to, have her son to live a bit. And she knew I was never going to fucking clean it. So she was cleaning it out, and she found the weed stash, and she sends me a text, and she goes, I found your wacky backy. So I just sent her a text back being like, okay, nobody calls it that. Just first and foremost, just like if I'm in trouble, cool. But just so you don't get laughed at in the future.
Yeah.
That's
What's
not,
this reefer madness?
Aye. I see you got some of the sticky icky mother. For the love of God, I would
It would have
honestly
been so much better if she said that, though, wouldn't
it
it?
would have.
I found your sticky icky.
I'd be like, have you been listening to Dre? What the fuck is up?
Tom got into his mum's stash, didn't you?
Yeah, we talked this, and then I rang an ambulance. I didn't, because we was in my house a lot, and my mum was out one day, and I snuck into her stash and rolled just a little makeshift blunt, and then looked at myself in the mirror too long. And next minute, I'm like, I think I'm dying.
How old are you at this point?
13. Something like
Oh,
that, yeah.
also way too
Yeah.
young to be smoking on fucking blunt, like.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought, because I didn't know how, you're meant to put tobacco in. I thought, just bang it in a skin. And
I done the same with ale. I had like 8 shots of whiskey when I was 14. I was like, oh, this feels great. And about 10 minutes later, I was like being sick everywhere. Nearly died. Like,
to be fair, though, my mum's got a great sense of humour about that.
Yeah.
And she like at a family party, she'd be like, "No, but you thought you were tired." I'm like, "All right,
Yeah, that's hilarious.
so your mum was sound with finding it then?
Well, so that's all. That was literally all the communication we had via text.
Yeah.
I'm off out fucking gigging. So come back. She didn't mention anything to me. I don't mention anything to her. And my friends come around that night, and we look behind my cupboard, and the weed's not there. And we're like, well, I mean, I guess that's fair. And then my mate looked out the window, and all of my weed paraphernalia was just on the windowsill.
Right.
None of it taken away, none of it reduced. And I was like, oh,
It's just cleaned it and organised
yeah.
it.
But she's put it out like it's an elephant in the room. We're acknowledging it. And then she was driving me to a gig at the Stand, I think, and she was like, "Okay, so you smoke weed?" And I was like, "Yep, yeah." And I was like, "Look, it calms me down." At the time, I was a very angry teenager, and like I was like, it certainly makes me like calm down with that, and it makes me feel sort of less angry. And she was just like, "Okay, well, I mean, as long as you're not doing, you know, harder stuff, and it's, you know, driving while you're on it and this other stuff. Like, just be careful, because there's a, you know, a history of addiction in his family, just with any substance. We just love things. and I should have listened to her. I was like, Mum, it's not addictive. But obviously you can become addicted to something you just think is class. So for years and years and years, my mum, she knew I was very open about my marijuana smoking, because I had the conversation, and it's in my stand-up. My brothers, who were 10 and 12 years younger than me, they grew up, they probably learned it from me, but also they grew up in the same place I did.
That's it,
It's around way more than parents fucking think it is. I think people over the age of 40 would be shocked to find out what percentage of under 30s have done or regularly do cocaine. I reckon if you were to ask my gran, she'd go 2%, and I reckon I'd go 78. So my mum then watched her kids sort of grow up not stoners, but smoking weeds, and just that curiosity kick. It's not killed 3 people I love. People seem to be a lot more cool about it.
Right, okay.
Maybe I'll give it a go. And every time she's done it in the worst circumstances. She's either taken an edible that was too much for her alone, right, or she'll have smoked with me and then just fucked off somewhere else and freaked out. And she's like, I think I hate marijuana. I'm like, no, you're just really bad at it.
You're just doing it all wrong.
You're doing the wrong thing all the time. I like to be a guru with it. I'd love people to love this as much as I do. I don't want your first time to be too stoned. So with edibles and stuff, because I've got a fucking weed butter maker, nowhere near the quality of this shit, but sometimes it's just like, you can make your own weed butter, and then I give it to my fiance, who's a great cook, and I go, just put that in shit.
In stuff,
make it, surprise me.
We've done it with oil, made some oil, and we were putting it on like garlic bread and lasagna, and we're like, ooh, and
it makes you feel so fucking classy.
I can't wait till it's legal over here, and we can just go to a restaurant and have
fine restaurants. But I mean, I'm so desperate for it to become legal over here. Like, I've already told my fiance, I'm like, I don't think it'll be for 20 years, like minimum. We're not getting rid of this fucking government for a very long time, because people are fucking thick. And also, we just don't have enough of a culture here for it to ever come in. But when it does, I'm investing in every shop.
100%.
We're starting a coffee shop.
We were literally just saying that, do a coffee shop with like a live podcast studio in the back of it and stuff like that. Like, I'll be sick.
I think that's like when I'll retire from comedy and just do the start my own small
coffee shop.
Just become a little fucking stoner at the age of 50.
It'd be sick.
Didn't you used to do stand-up comedy back when I was sad?
The money it makes for the American government, I'm shocked that our government haven't looked at it and went, it's mad. It's a cash cow, you know.
When Scotland was going for fucking independence, I was like, because we're like, oh, what do we do without all the money England gives us? And I'm like, if you legalize marijuana, if you become the first fucking nation in Europe to properly legalize it, you'll be giving money back. I was in Colorado, was the first state in America, one of the first 3 states to buckle and cave into weed. I was there like the month it was legalized, right? It was my first time doing comedy out there. The Comedy Works, great comedy club in Denver. Get off the plane and like I get to the hotel as fast as possible, and I just run in and I'm like, weed, where's the weed? Where? I hear it's like fucking legal here now. You go have the amazing experience at the with the scientists giving you everything you want. Speaking to the fucking locals there, like apparently in Colorado, feel free to fact check this because I've thrown it out there and I've used it as a fact for about 10 years now, and I've never really checked. But they got so much money from tax that they had to give every tax-paying member of Colorado $150 back. Because they're like, we've just gained so much tax.
That's true,
The alcohol, the drink driving went
way down.
By like 80% it went down. And all of the funds they got from the tax, they were able to build schools and hospitals.
It was mad. It was
and you're like, motherfucker, and don't be wrong, of course there'll be fucking corruption in there. But even with the Tories, you're like, look, you love stealing money off the poor. Why not let them sell this bush and then, you know.
And that's the thing, but the part of me that makes me think like why it's not been legalized is because, you know, they make it legal, there's no more drug dealers, then they can't have police budgets or whatever. You know what I mean? You can't fund the police in the same way because there's no crime to go and no drug dealers to catch anymore because it's legal. Do you know?
But I also think, man, I don't think police want to be dealing with the drug dealers.
Yeah, true.
That's why I love any of the fucking police that are like, because I think they've done it in Scotland and I know parts of England have done it. Hold on. Oh God.
I might
I'm getting coughs even though I'm not smoking.
eat the rest of that.
Oh no! Imagine if we killed Daniel Sloss with an edible,
I'm getting a bit confident.
and he was the first one to die. Oh no!
Any police station that's like, we're not arresting people for marijuana bushes or stuff. We just don't care.
Yeah.
It's not worth our time. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth the paperwork. They're never the cunts doing anything.
Yeah.
We just don't give a shit. I've got all the time in the world for that.
Yeah, it's just so stupid, isn't it? Like, again, like if you say like the harder drugs where people are dying off taking them and selling them to kids now. But even if you sold weed to kids, I know it's immoral, but they're not going to die. Like,
legalize all of the drugs, tax them all, and if people want to overdose and die,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead. It's happening anyway.
We don't want to be here.
Didn't Portugal do that?
Yeah,
like every drug's legal in Portugal and shit.
I think it happens with it whether it's legal or not. People are still taking them.
Yeah,
people are still dying from them.
Might as well make it safer to make money off of it.
That's with Colorado, was it? They made so much money that they invested into drug education as well.
Yeah,
so people was more aware of it and better educated on it as well. Like, it's only good things.
And also, like, the medical side of it is, like, I as somebody that's lied for years, been like, it's fucking medical, don't get me wrong, it certainly helps with my anxiety, it certainly helps with my day-to-day. Like, for me, I microdose weed. I'm a one-hitter guy. It's my favourite way to do it. Like, just a little fucking dose, and then I'll have another one 3 hours later. Yeah. And then that's just me for my day.
I feel like a liquid vape.
No, one hitter. So in lockdown, my weed smoking went through the fucking roof, and some guy, I got the weed cartridges.
Right.
And the way they smuggle those into the country, by the way, is they ship over heaps and heaps and heaps of THC cartridges from America. And before the borders, they rip off the THC label and stick down CBD. And that's it.
Nice.
Because nobody cares.
Nobody's
checking. Nobody's going to bother opening up all the vials, sending that away to the
every one of them.
For weed, because who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I've lost what you thought.
Microdosing weed, lockdown.
Oh yeah, so I was on the cartridges a lot there, and the cartridges are dangerous just because it's so strong,
so potent,
so easy, and it's during the day that you just find yourself for most of it, and then last year I was like, I've just got to go back to green. Like I've got to be like a fucking vegan with it. Just go all the natural
organic
stuff. Yeah, and smaller doses, because I was like, look, I love being high, but what I don't like is how lethargic it occasionally makes me and how fucking lazy it makes me. Yeah. Whereas with a one hitter, I always remember the first time I saw them in America. So it's like this little thing, right? And you twist the lid and this little metal cigarette pops up. Right. And it's just a pipe. It's just a little long pipe, but only holds that much in the end. Oh, okay. And there's a little compartment in there. You jam it in there. You stick it in your mouth like a cigarette. You light up and you smoke it. Yeah. It's the equivalent of, I would say, half a joint. Right. And fucking, that sounds like sense. Oh, it's the best. I'll wake up in the morning. I'll go for one of those. I'll work out. If it fucking focuses me, I'll go and I'll make my family breakfast. I'll do the wash and clean the fucking house.
I was just going to ask how has being a dad affected the pot taking? Do you still as much, or you cut back?
Well, man, I beat myself. Well, so with weed, right? I'm definitely an addict in the sense that, like, I could stop anytime I want. I just don't ever want to. Yeah. Right? And also, addiction is, a substance doesn't have to be addictive for you to be addictive to it. No, there's nothing addictive about gambling. There's nothing addictive about fucking kids, but people are addicted to it. Like, people get addicted. Whatever sets something off in your brain, you can get addicted to that. And I think just the way the stigma I feel towards it, when I worked out that I was addicted to this, it made me feel fucking pathetic and weak for the fact that this thing had a hold over me, despite the fact that it doesn't have that much of it doesn't change who I am. It doesn't ruin my day. Like, I've brought it with my fiance so many times, and she's like, I don't know why you freak out. You're the same person. Yeah. Except you don't drive. Like, that's the difference. So, and in my head, I didn't want my fucking son growing up with a fucking stoner dad or a drug addict dad or anything. And just all these limitations that I put up in my head about what it means to be somebody who smokes fucking weed regularly and then stop for a week. And then, and babies don't do anything, man. Like, they sleep 18 hours. They sleep for 18 hours of the fucking day. And man, I could stare at them for hours, and I do. Right, I can also do it high. Yeah. So I've still been doing it. occasionally, just because it makes me focus. Like it's that
wrapping a nappy.
Man, I can't wait for him to. I can't wait for him to be old enough to eat, because I've like cooking. When I'm high, I get really into like cooking and doing it properly, like cooking things well, because it's something to put my focus on instead of just watching Rick and Morty or South Park or fucking whatever. So I've reduced a lot. But I'm also just trying to fucking change my own relationship or my attitude towards my weed smoking, because just whenever it's like even though it's an addiction, it's like the lowest form of addiction. Like it's like being racist towards the finish. like racism's awful. Racism's the worst thing in the world. I hate the finish. I'm a drug addict. Oh God, cocaine, heroin, no weed. Right.
I see it as me coffee. Like,
yeah, so do I.
It's just a plan.
I always remember that Dave Chappelle sketch on the Chappelle Show where he's like, "I'm addicted to weed." I go, "Boo this man."
I think that's the way I've got to sort of say it. It's the way my fiance's trying to explain it to me, which is, people regularly have a glass of wine before they go to bed. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. That's when they'll have their pints. They've got their coffee addictions. They've got everything that just helps them fucking see
the phone
day.
addiction, that'll be worse for you.
I just thought, that whole it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I'm definitely getting a sign in our house that says it's 4:20 somewhere.
Well, you're gonna get a lava lamp next to fucking.
Got a lava lamp, mate.
Of course yourself.
Who are you talking to?
Of course, you've got a lava lamp. Bean bags.
It's not even. It's not only a lava lamp. It's eco-friendly because it's done with tea lights and not real electricity. So
just the most cliched stoner in the world.
I'm allergic to alcohol, though, so I have no shame about being a drug addict. Because y'all would be as well.
Like, this is literally my one vice. It's the only one I can have.
Someone asked a question about, because what I wanted to ask, because you've got a fiance now, like you said, but your whole jigsaw thing, I know you probably got asked this so many times, but do people come to you now going, "Oh, it's only a matter of time until you fucking end up that way," or whatever? Like, what made you change your mind on?
So maybe explain what it is if anyone doesn't know.
So one of your last specials was called Jigsaw.
Special I had on Netflix, one of the two, and at the moment, I don't know the numbers anymore, but a conservative estimate is it's resulted in over 150,000 breakups and about 350 divorces at this point.
What an achievement!
I know, right? And it was. So I've definitely had people come up to me. The reason it was able to do this was the show was never designed to break people up.
Yeah.
It was genuinely always meant to be. I'd gotten out of a really toxic relationship with an awful partner, and the relief I felt of getting out of this relationship was better than any sex I've ever had, any shit I've ever taken, or any coke I've ever fucking snorted. Like it was just the purest level of fucking relief. And I was like, people have to have this. Because I remember being in that toxic relationship and just getting to a point where I was like, I'll just settle for this. Forever.
Right. And just be unhappy.
Yeah, just being happy, because it's so much easier than just making her unhappy and making her family unhappy and making my friends and my family who've invested time in her unhappy. I'll just thing. And then thankfully caught myself being like, oh no, that's an insane way to live your life. And had the courage and strength to break up with her and felt so fucking good that I was like, other people need to experience this. So I wrote a show based on an analogy that my dad had given me and that I told to friends of mine, and it caused them to break up, and it then caused.
But it's not like causing them as in like it caused arguments. It literally made people go, "We're not happy, are we?"
Yes, aye. So the whole point is, the other part of Jigsaw that I never mentioned is Jigsaw has also led to 1,000 engagements and at least 3 children.
Right, okay.
And it's also the amount of people that come up to me after the shows and like, we watched Jigsaw and it made us get engaged, or we watched Jigsaw and it made me realize I was with the right person. And I'm like, also great. Also great.
Yeah.
As long as you come out of the show fucking happy, that's it. Either you'll sit beside your partner and you'll go, this one's the right one, everything he's saying right, I'm on board forever. Or you go, everything he's saying right, you're fucking shit. But because of the headlines that come with the fucking thing, I was the breakup comic, the special, I was the single forever guy. Never. Literally in Jigsaw, one of the lines is, I speak about how much I do believe in true love, and how despite everything I've always wanted to get married and have kids. But yeah, people come up and they're like, it'll be you next. And I'm like, yeah, great, I'll have a second show. We'll call it Jigsaw 2. This time it's personal.
Just come out on a little trike like
But the reason I'm with the love of my life now is because everything I said in Jigsaw about relationships is still true. My whole thing was you have to find somebody who loves 100% of who you are, like literally every part of you, and doesn't make you, this idea that you have to compromise to be happy in a relationship is insane. Yeah, like there's so many other people in the world. You don't like if it's such a crucial thing, like it's a very important moment in your life, and you have to compromise like something outside of yourself. You can compromise situations where you live, what car you drive, whatever. But don't ever compromise who you are. And I appear to have found somebody who does love 100% of who I am. Like I'm the one who constantly goes on about my, how I'm not good enough because in my head I'm this fucking drug addict because I smoke weed all the time. And she's like, I don't, like, buddy.
You're the same person. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, you're the same person. You wake up and you're a really good dad from fucking start to finish. Yeah, you're very considerate during the day. I make her all her meals because I'm a well trained house husband.
That's adorable.
I remember seeing somebody said on an interview once, and I thought it made a lot of sense about it might be cruel to break up with that person at the time, but it's better than being cruel to yourself.
Yeah. Oh, and also if you're with somebody, and I'll fucking say this down the lens as I always do, if you are in a fucking relationship with someone who you know there is no future with that person, you are a fucking monster for staying with them. Yeah. You're a fucking monster. Every second you're with them, you're wasting their time. You know the relationship's over. Yeah. They don't. Right? And it's gonna suck. You're gonna break their fucking hearts. You're gonna rip their heart out the chest, you're gonna put it on the ground, you're gonna stamp on it, you're gonna spit on them, and you're gonna go ha 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 ha. Yeah. But I promise you, they'll forgive you in a year's time more than in 5 years' time when you're miserable fucking together.
Yeah. Like that whole 5 years they could have spent rebuilding themselves,
getting over you,
finding someone else, and
100%. Fucking get out. There's so many people, and it comes from this. People, first of all, we all want to be liked, which is understandable because it's important. And second of all, we don't want to hurt people. Yeah, and that's a really, really nice thing. You can be with someone in a really good relationship for 90% of it, and you can be together for 5 years, and you can both go, oh no. Like we were so close to being perfect,
something doesn't match. Yeah,
but there's just something not there. Yeah, those breakups fucking suck, man. Yeah, they're awful
because there's no like toxicity in there. Is it? It's just
bitch about them to your friend. Oh, she said this. He used to do this, and which makes the months after the breakup way harder because every memory you have. Even if you're in a toxic relationship, 6 months later, the only memories you've got are positive ones. That's the way our brains are resilient. If you're in a good relationship with someone, it could be hard. It's just easier. It's safer to stay in those things, but it's unhappiness for you in the long run, and it's unhappiness for them in the long run.
It's just detrimental for everyone, isn't it? Yeah.
And also, there's so many people in the world, man. And also, I've met my girlfriend, my fiance, when I was least expecting it. Wasn't looking for anything. Yeah. Like literally, like when we got together, the whole time I'm like, this is nothing, by the way. Yeah. My first time my mum met my fiance was at a fucking Edinburgh Fringe artist party sort of thing, and my fiance was just my date that evening. And my mum came up to me and she went, "Do I need to remember her name?" And I went,
"No, nah, forget that one.
No, not at all."
That's hilarious.
Yeah. We kind of started like that. It was casual.
Yeah. Because I was going to Australia. And so, like, I just broke up with someone, and I was planning on going to Australia, and then we sort of...
My ex actually paid for my tattoo that he did. That's how I met him.
Yeah.
Oh.
So then when we...
tattoo cuckery.
And then, so when we both become single, we were chatting, and we were getting on really well, but I was like, I'm going to Australia in May or whatever. But then as we just kept talking and stuff, it ended up going like,
I was like, I'll come.
Do you want to come? And we just see what happens. So like we'd been together like known each other less than a year. Next thing we're moving to Australia and living together, and then put us in a real unique situation
it was either going to work or not.
Or it weren't,
And it did. How long have you been together now?
8 years nearly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Still time though.
They were killing each other before you walked in the room.
We were arguing over something. But
I mean, do you argue?
Not really, because we're stoners.
Me and my fiance don't argue much, but I also think she's really good at communicating what her problems are.
That's what she's like.
Yeah. Like she will, because of the toxic relationships I've been in the past, she knows that like my mind, unless explained to, will go to the worst case scenario of like, I've done something, so I'll just spend all day trying to work out what the fuck it is. And she'll just go, I'm just tired today. And I'm like, oh, that's all I needed. And now I can live. And because I'm a fucking stoner and whatever, I don't have any conviction in arguments or in debates with her, because if she says something happened a certain way, I'll not remember if that's true. She's like, you said this? And I'm like, I must have. I trust you. I trust you wholeheartedly. You wouldn't fucking lie to me, but I mean, I don't remember if I did any of those things.
Let's say we'll have disagreements about stuff, but I think that's just two people in it.
That's like his personality trait. So he will.
I argue with stuff until I know I'm wrong.
So
I might not be 100% right in my head, but until you show me that I'm wrong, I'm like, no, fuck off. This is how it happens. Like, So
but I think that's important. You have to show me how I'm wrong so that I don't make the same mistake again in the future.
But I do that with everything.
And it's it can be incredibly frustrating.
It's not ideal, but it's just the way I am. Sorry.
Should we do a fan question?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
I've been dying to ask this. Dan Roberts.
Sorry, I've also just realised I must have looked far there. This is what fatherhood is, carrying around with you everywhere. It's called a Muslim, by the way. I wasn't being. One of the only jokes I've written as a new dad I don't have the courage to do on stage. And it's the fact that these are called Muslins, spelt with an N at the end. And it's ever since becoming a father, me and my fiance have turned into Tommy Robinson. We spend all day complaining about dirty fucking Muslims.
It's great.
You can't do it on stage because a bunch of racists will hear the joke and they'll laugh at it for the wrong reasons.
Or they go, yeah.
They're like, woo, and you're like, well, that's the joke ruined. A bunch of assholes got the wrong bit. Okay.
I had that in somewhere in like Stoke-on-Trent ways. I had a line where I go, leave means leave, but the whole point of it is because I'm pretending to be like a racist old guy.
Yeah.
And people usually laughed at the like, obviously he's racist because he's old, leave means leave. And in this gig in Stoke, I went, leave means leave, and everyone just went, yep.
Like, no.
Like, there was no laugh at all. They all just went, yes, we fully agree with that. And I went, this is a horrible place to be in, isn't it?
Start getting the Bernard Manning jokes out.
It was mad. It was such a weird response because every other time people were like, yeah. And they just went, yeah.
Just a lot of
whole
nods.
audience just went. I was like, oh shit.
This is a really good question from Dan Roberts. And you know the way you get the Desert Island thing, you've got to pick 3 of something. 3 stand-up specials to watch for the rest of time.
Bo Burnham's What? I personally will watch that 3 or 4 times a year. Well, man, I love it just because I think the best stand-up in the world is just whenever a routine feels like somebody plucked it out of your head and put it into better words ever. That's what comedy should be. Somebody says something, you go, oh my God, I did think that. Oh my God, you phrased it better than I ever could.
Yeah.
And the first 10 minutes of Bo Burnham's What are weird as shit. And it'll break a lot of people. They'll not, it was always my tester on dates. I'd make them watch that.
Right,
and I'm like, if you don't like this, then we're fundamentally different. If they can make it past the first 10 minutes, which is weird. Some of the songs in that are stunning. Left Brain, Right Brain is phenomenal. I think The Perspective of God's one of the funniest songs in the world, and the bit at the end, the We Think We Know You song. I was just like, I'm like, oh my God, Bo Burnham wrote a song for me. It's so nice of him to do that and to perform it on his sold out tour to everyone else in the world. That's so weird when he wrote this song just for me. I love the top 3 fucking.
It's a hard question, but it's a good one.
Ed Byrne, Pedantic and Whimsical. I bought that on DVD when I was 13 years old, and it was like the reason I got into stand-up comedy. Oh, it's real old, and I don't know how much it holds up, but I've always loved Ed Byrne. I think he's fucking superb. And then, oh God, I mean, Bill Burr's Black and White one's is particularly fucking great.
You're looking at me.
I can tell I'm fucking thinking. Oh, there's so many. I mean, I can.
Yeah, might have to come back to it. But
Aye.
watching Inside made me feel
Inside.
shit. You know what I mean? When you're like, oh, I'm my own worst enemy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's made like a masterpiece on his own in a room.
Do you know a special that's really, really annoyingly good? Louis C.K.'s new one.
Oh, it's meant to be amazing. Yeah,
oh, man,
I haven't seen it.
Look, I was a big CK fan, and then after everything that he did and the way he handled it, particularly, I was like, you fucking jerk.
Yeah,
I'm like, of all the comedians in the world, somebody who was, what you did wasn't technically illegal, but we all admit it was seedy, gross, and weird.
Yeah,
and as somebody who's been really good in the past in their stand-up about owning the shitty side of them, shining a light on it, and then. But in a good, smart way to highlight why that's wrong. I was like, oh, he'll be able to do this perfectly. You'll come out and you'll go, oh, hey, here's why what I did was wrong. Here's why I'm gross. Yeah. And you'll turn the thing around. And then he just came out and was like, all those kids who got shot are losers, aren't they? Bunch of whiny pricks.
Oh, is that the one Judd Apatow was really angry with him?
Yeah. And its last special before, Sorry, was just...
That was the one he won the Grammy for, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was garbage. It was fucking garbage.
Was it really bad, was it? Yeah.
It wasn't really bad, but it was not...
Not Louis C.K. Grammy winning comedy special.
Not at all. Yeah. Like, oh, okay. It was like, oh, but he had to do it in difficult circumstances. You're like, what? The 20% of people that immediately forgave him and came to all of his live shows. Yeah, sounds like a real difficult audience. That should have been a point in his fucking career where he used that as a moment to educate his audience, being like, right, everyone that bought tickets to this shows are the psychos that 100% back me up. So allow me to use this opportunity to explain to you why what I did was wrong.
Was bad, yeah.
Why it's bad, what I've learned, why it should, and we can all move on together.
Yeah.
Didn't do that, and I was like, oh, what a fucking wanker.
Yeah.
And then his most recent one I watched while big the other day. Sorry.
Yeah.
Man, again, he doesn't apologise and he doesn't acknowledge. But the stand-up in it is just really, really good. And so much of it as well is just on the right side as well. Like he's morally on the right side and so many other things. And it's really silly and it's really fun. And I watched it twice and I'm like,
it's like classic Louis. Like,
gutting. Because you just like, it's not like when Cosby became gross. I mean, he was always shit. But he's just like, have the fucking decency to do something awful and then just stay shit.
Yeah,
I think he said, didn't he? He was like, oh, you know the way everyone's got that one thing? Imagine the whole world knowing your thing. And then he said, oh, and by the way, if you're going to masturbate in front of someone and you've asked them, follow it up with, are you sure?
Yeah,
and that was like, that was all. Yeah.
That's again not the discussion and not the best fucking angle. I thought as a comedian, you're an artist who's given a bit of fucking clay, and you gave Louis C.K. this massive fucking bit of clay, and he made a dick and he wanked it off. Like he could have made any other fucking sculpture, he could have done anything else, but he didn't. He made a small cock and he wanked it off, and you're like, oh right, so nothing. You learn nothing.
It could have been like a real. Moment where he's like
a real teacher moment, like you've done that in yours, like
but so maybe he doesn't have to, because again, I fucking hate wanky comics like me.
No, but it's good though, because like you say, you've got a platform and you can show people and tell people certain things. I think it's X. Is it X?
Yeah,
that's the one where you speak about your mate and
sexual assault.
Yeah. And in that, you're sort of saying like, look, if you know someone who's doing this, tell them to fucking stop doing it. Blah blah blah. And I think a lot of people will leave that show either being like, oh, my mate does that, I'm going to say something, or I do that, and I didn't like seeing someone who I really like telling me what I'm doing is wrong type thing.
A light on it,
so like you say, there's probably loads of Louis like diehard fans who are like, oh yeah, Louis does this, so it's fine.
But it's like
there will be though, like
it's the problem. It's the common problem that Jim Jeffries has, which is people go, Jim Jeffries is a sexist. And you go, well, I've met Jim loads of times. He doesn't seem sexist to me. But then again, I'm a white man, so maybe I don't experience the ire of his sexism. But he's certainly not as sexist as some people claim. And then you watch his stand-up, and again, I think you can and should talk about anything on stage. I also think we're doing especially people like Jim, you're doing a persona on stage where it's heightened and you've got not an obligation to your audience, but they know where you're going to go and push what boundaries.
Yeah.
But so many, when Jim does jokes about sex and gender and stuff, and it's brutal and it's harsh, all the worst people, like the racists at the gigs, will find they'll laugh at the wrong bits in the joke.
Yeah.
Or they'll go, I love all this stuff that Jim Jeffries does about hating women. I'm like, oh man, I really liked his vaccine routine. I thought his gun control routine is one of the, from start to finish, greatest stand-up routines of all time.
Yeah.
You're telling me you like the 6 minutes where he calls women cunts. Right, you and me like Jim Jeffries for different reasons. And you're doing Jim Jeffries a disservice.
Yeah, right.
Because you're the loudest fucking fan as well.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, definitely.
You're it's people who won't have seen Jim Jeffries and have only met Jim Jeffries fans. Fair enough if they're like, Jim Jeffries is a sexist pig, and you go, oh, you've met Jim Jeffries fans. But you've not actually watched the stand-up where he owns his own flaws and his own... I mean, instead of just talking over you, I should ask you your opinion of whether that's correct or not.
Daniel Sloss, sexist piece of shit.
Yeah, well, I just realised talking about sexism while I yell over a woman.
If I'm being completely honest, I've zoned out.
Okay, good, that's fine.
Bloody women never listen, are they?
That's on record.
I was thinking about Bert Kreischer, and I wanted to ask about what he was like. Because he seems like wild, man.
He's the biggest fucking sweetheart in the world.
Yeah.
And it appears to be he's just that energy all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I got invited on to do his podcast just at his house.
Bearcast is that one?
Yeah. Well, after the after the Netflix came out, just to plug it all.
Right.
And he's got this in his back garden, just in a fucking shed. And we started talking about drinking and touring and stuff, and obviously he's a big fucking drinker and I'm a big drinker. He's like, oh, we should definitely drink together at one point. And I don't get scared to drinking with other people. Like, I'm fucking, I've drank since I was 16. I'm Scottish, I'll be fine. But when Bert was like, you need to come on and drink, I was like, fucking, I'm going to have to
That's scary,
split the shift here. So me and Kai did his podcast when we just did, and man, I don't fucking remember much afterwards because I think Bert also gave us a bunch of edibles. But Kai went to play five-a-side afterwards. But he won because he was against Americans.
Oh, okay.
Man, you can turn up at like 95% five-a-side pitches in the United States of America
and you just rinse everyone.
And still just win.
I always used to think that. I used to think, am I like Zidane? If I go
move to America.
I'm terrible over here.
Yeah.
But I feel like I could do
right
like three
there.
keepy ups and be like,
because it's like their 9th favourite sport.
Yeah.
Like it's so far
behind
down
bowling.
Bowling's
so big,
hate crimes, whatever it is.
I wanted a Scots opinion on. Have you ever heard that? I find it annoying sometimes, and people from Liverpool like to say, "Oh, we're Scouse, not English." To Irish people and Scottish people, is that just a ridiculous claim, or can you understand it?
Yes, I understand what it is. It's the same sort of claim that the Scots have, which is I don't align with any of the fucking rest of this country and how they fucking vote and how they are. Yeah. And like that's not me. That's what this Ireland's like. What Ireland's history is. The British were consistently awful bastards to them for 200 years. Scotland, England's had the history of being fucking shite to us, but I do think past 10 years. We benefited from a lovely union together.
Yeah, right.
And all the hatred I have towards English is purely football based, which is just, I'll hate you when we're playing football, like in sports, whatever.
You're not a Chelsea fan?
I am.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm deeply steeped in hypocrisy.
yeah.
But the reason I'm a Chelsea fan is because, number one, I was born in England.
Oh, yeah, I did read that.
My mum and dad, both Scottish, accidentally conceived me, went south across the board.
Quick, he can't be.
And then when I in London, grew up in Kingston upon Thames, and then when I was 4 years old, again fully Scottish family. At 4 years old, I've got a proper Cockney accent. Hello, mummy. Hello, daddy. It's my birthday, and they're like, "We are not. We're not raising a fucking Tory. Get him back across the fucking wall." So they drove me up. So yeah, I mean, I'm technically English and rightfully fucking ripped by all of my friends for being a fake fucking Scotsman. But there's this with the Scouse thing, yes, man, we all know the history of the rest of this country with this part of the fucking world. It's a lot of it's fucking football related, obviously, after the way that this handled fucking everything. I get it, and I like it. Anyone that's, but also, you do cheer England on in the World Cup, so you can go fuck yourselves.
Yeah. As soon as you get to them, later
you are English. You are like we're Scouse 99% of the time, 1% English, and I'm like, That's still too fucking much.
That's what I always thought. I always assume Scottish people, when they hear that, must think, oh, shut up. Or you know what I mean?
See, that's like, if
we're happy with any English person that appears to hate the fucking Tories as much as the rest of us.
Yeah.
That's always the,
Yeah.
Right. I know, because, man, and my friends who are English, like, it's so hard to try and explain to them. Because when England got knocked out of the World Cup 4 years ago, we lost our shit in Scotland.
Right.
Like, man, me and my friends, like, we went through the roof. It was one of the funniest, greatest, because we have to listen to that fucking song. We have to listen. We have to just accept what you're going through and the hype and everything. And watching you go out is just so satisfying. Man.
To see John Terry cry, you must be like, oh, this is
but in the same way that, man, when fucking Everton go out, when Man United go out, like that sort of rivalry.
Yeah.
And I think our friends, because obviously I don't know what it's like to get to a World Cup semi-final. I don't know what it's like to get to a Euro final. And I never will. I'm a Scotland fan. I'll never know what that's like. But I've been a Chelsea fan when Chelsea get knocked out and everyone goes, ha, 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 ha. So I'll do the exact same thing.
You've got to
and also, we've got history. Like, this is Scotland v England, not fucking Chelsea v Arsenal. Grow up.
I was going to ask what you in this time of war, have you got a favourite war?
That's the sort of time now.
Well, I mean, there's the classic, the Australians the Emu War that they lost.
See, this is why I asked these questions.
That's a good question. Hey, Tom, I like it.
No, I have never heard
Australians versus emus, like there's actual bird, like the birds.
Just type in the Emu War into Google. The emus won. Yeah, no casualties on the emu side.
I nearly killed a cassowary. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
They're kind of like emus, aren't they, in Australia?
Are those the ones with the fucking real dangerous
big
like birds, blue?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, one of the most dangerous animals. Because
the Great Emu War.
That's mad.
So I mean, I don't know what it is. I'll let you read it up, but I'm pretty sure there was just like, there was a bunch of fucking emus, and Australia was like, we have to fucking get rid of these, and then sent in the army and obviously they were like, emus are really hard to get headshots on, I imagine.
Yeah, right. Real long necks, like good
and
head
small
movement.
Head, like,
so small.
Like that's a sniper's nightmare.
It does say as well, the unsuccessful attempts to curb the population of emus.
That's so funny. So they were just killing all the soldiers?
Well, I think they tried. They declared war on the emus and then just couldn't, and then eventually
so they just couldn't kill them. The emus weren't killing equal amounts of humans. That's what was happening in my head.
No, I wish.
They were like dodging bullets and like kicking them in the head and killing them.
And for some reason, their information, like, it's kind of none of us were for the war, but now we've seen how organised they are. They have to fucking go.
So when we were in Australia, we were driving through. Is it like Daintree Forest or something?
Yeah.
Real old rainforest,
One
of the oldest in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm just driving in this fucking camper van, just listening to music, going, oh, this is dead nice, innit? And there was a car stopped halfway round, but it was a real windy road. So I come round the corner and was like, fucking knobheads, just stop there. What are they doing? And someone was like, hey, started shouting at me. And I stopped and looked back and they were like, you fucking nearly killed this like rare bird. Just this big fucking like an emu size, just walking down the road, and I just fucking nearly bonneted it. And I was like,
flipping off.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, sorry. I was like, it is actually quite nice that. It is just taking pictures and that, yeah. It was mad, man.
All shaken up.
It was so mad, yeah. I'm so happy I didn't fucking just bonnet it. Like, it would have been awful.
Right, can I give you this?
Oh, yeah.
And then can we have a little wee break?
Yeah, how long have we done there?
An hour.
Oh, sound.
So this is a members only club card.
Oh, thank you.
And it entitles you to a favour. So you can ask us for any favour.
Do I have to ask it now?
No. It can be in the
Just at any
future.
point.
You can just give us a shout and go, hey, I need something to do. I need some
Don-
edibles because I'm in Liverpool, something like that, and we'll sort you out.
Class.
Just
It's very Don Corleone, isn't it?
thing.
Like, on my day, my daughter's wedding, we have to do editing.
We just have a quick little wee break.
Go on.
Hey everyone, before we go into this week's episode, I want to tell you about Munch Term. Munch Term is the UK's #1 smoke shop. So you want to hit up them for any skins, grinders, blunt wraps. They sell CBD flour, raws, lighters.
Blazy Susans,
Damn.
rolling trays.
We've got a little promo code. It's Mild High UK. If you use that, you get £2 off your order. munchterm.co.uk. Support the podcast. Enjoy the rest of the show. Love yous. So everyone get your mics back.
Yeah.
On your, is it Dark? Is that what it's called on Netflix? You said something about your dad being too smart to. He's not allowed to go on Robot Wars.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's mad.
Well, so I was on Robot Wars from the my dad was on Robot Wars from like the second season onwards because he's a big fucking nerd and loved it.
So what was he doing on it? Was he in the team?
Yes. So season 2, he was part of a team called All Talk. Him and his workmates, basically, they watched the
Great
first
name
season.
as well. All Talk.
They watched the first season and like all the robots had like circular saws or axes or flippers and spikes and all these sort of things on them to like win these battles with 100 kilo limit. And my dad and his mates were like, why would you need any weapon? If you hit anything at 30 miles an hour, it's dead. Right, or above that. If anything, just that's the speed that kills things, right?
Yeah.
So if we just put all of the weight into the motors on the things, and then we'll just have a really fast thing that just destroys all other robots, and that's what happened.
Fucking Craig Charles like that.
So season 2, it wasn't until the later seasons where they always fought each other. In seasons 1, 2, and 3, there was like a assault course they had to go through first, and then the second round was always some like weird game with one of the house robots. And one of the games was Joust with Matilda. Matilda was the Triceratops looking motherfucker with the chainsaw in the back. Yeah. And Joust was 2 ramps, big circle in the middle. You come up one side, she comes up the other, and you've got to try and get down the other side or push her over, right? Yeah. Now, Matilda, like all of the house robots, has a much higher weight allowance. I think hers was anything close to like 200 kilos. Right? Did not fucking matter to all four. Right? This thing gets to 30 miles an hour in 2 seconds. So they do straight up through it, all through the other side. To this day, still holds the record for the fastest.
Oh my
thing.
God.
We then got beaten fairly in the fights against other robots because even though we could fucking hit them, like unless we fucking smashed them properly, they managed to get us into a pit. We got done.
Right. Okay.
We represented Scotland in the international.
That's hilarious.
Once we fought against Razor. Remember Razor?
Oh shit! Yeah.
They fucked us up. Still have the corpse of that robot in our fucking base.
That's so funny. That.
But so my dad loves the show. His mates love being on the show. It's their favorite. They're just nerds. And it's what a lovely atmosphere Robot Wars used to fucking be. Just nerds. Yeah. Everyone that used to get bullied in school, all hanging out in a room for the thing they used to get bullied for. Yeah. And none of them are bullying each other. It's the nicest environment. Stinks. Fucking stinks. not a woman in sight, but real nice. My dad decides that. Do you remember Hypnodisc?
Yeah, the one with the fucking big spinning thing on it, yeah.
So, Hypnodisc had this disc that used to go, I think, I'm going to pull some numbers out of my arse here. I think the horsepower was like 20 horsepower on this fucking spinning disc, let's say. And Hypnodisc destroyed cunts left, right, and centre. And my dad and his mates are watching this and go, that's a really good idea. But instead of having a horizontal disc, they should have a vertical disc. It should be going backwards. So anything you hit just flies up in the air. So not only does it cut, but they go, okay, but it have to be this fucking fast. So my dad gets a friend of his who used to work on the oil rigs, and they get one of the diamond encrusted blades that they use for cutting through rock surface. And this thing itself weighs like 60, 70 kilos because it's just so big about it. So they have to like cut bits out of it. So it's just like a spoke wheel, and they stick that on the front of this robot called Bot Out of Hell. Named after Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell. It was shaped like a motorbike, and on the back had a little metal guy called Metal Oaf, Meatloaf. And it was I think it was 9 times more powerful disc than Hypnodisc disc, right? So for the auditions up in Glasgow, the tryouts at the SE fucking CC, we managed to get that fucking disc going, and the other robot was mopped off stage. Like literally just like that. It hit once, up in the air, gone.
Just so not fun for the other team. All our hard work just turned into dust. And you
want to do the sweep up? Would that be fun for you?
It's like Mike Tyson in the ABAs or something. Like, what are you doing here? Come out.
Stop, he's already dead. Man, it's crazy.
And then we get down to the London live shows, and there was some problems with the mechanics on like literally an hour before we're due our fight to go rev it up. The disc just isn't fucking working. Yeah. It's just not working. And fair play to, I can't remember the name of the people we were against, but this was the atmosphere there. They knew how powerful our weapon was. The person who worked on the other robot we were against was helping my dad as much as he could to get this
yeah.
robot working. Was like, I think it's this problem. They got it going backstage. It was so loud, so fucking awful. Like they made my dad rev it up in like a bulletproof chamber. They got it going for about 30 seconds before it fucking cut out. And they were like, to be fair, to be honest with you, that's a good thing. Like we probably would not have let that go out there.
Right,
Because
okay.
this thing's designed to go through rock. That's only 4 inches of bulletproof glass. Like if that comes off, that goes through everything and everyone's fucking dead.
Final
Yeah.
destination
I feel
shit there.
like I feel like your dad is one of them guys who, you know, like evil supervillains kidnap him and go, "You will make me a death ray."
Yeah. It's like, no, I don't want to. And it's like, you got to. Yeah.
Well, my dad would be like, "Oh, a death ray."
Well, I've only got a blue pin.
So I didn't have a weapon, so we obviously got fucking knocked out. Our robot wasn't smartly. If our disc wasn't working, you could just flip us over, and that was
Right, okay.
Our thing was you don't want to touch
And it
us.
come near us, yeah.
We get knocked out. I cry my fucking eyes out, devastated. But when we come off, one of the house robot guys sort of goes up to my dad and he's like, "How did you get it to do the thing?" And my dad was like, "Give me your controller." And he takes it and he goes, "Well, you've got this bit all wrong there, and that's why that signal's there." And the guy goes, "Oh, you got a job for 2 weeks, just till the end of the season." And my dad turns into a 13-year-old. "Oh yeah, that'd be great." Like gets to work out his fucking dream job. We just got to stay down for an extra
That's so
2 weeks. My
good.
dad got to drive the house robots in the international
No
fights.
way, man.
He stole Sir Killalot's chess piece. We still have it in our basement.
Yeah,
it came
that's
off.
sick.
It came off in a fight, and my dad ran just out the back of this fucking warehouse.
That's
We were
so
in the back
funny.
of the car, covered it up.
Just
and then-
robbing it off some little kid, like, fuck off, that's fine.
Yeah, it's like if The Rock, after people's
Yeah.
elbow throws it out, you're like, "Give me
Yeah,
that."
definitely having that. Oh, that's so funny. Did you get to meet Craig Charles?
Yes, I'll leave on this story. So I'm about 10, 11, 12 in the years I'm on Robo Wars. Craig Charles is the host at this time. I'm a big fan of Craig Charles at that time because I loved Red Dwarf as a kid.
Yeah,
That was
right, okay.
funny. And I also loved Robot Wars.
Yeah.
We're there. There's the full cafeteria backstage, right? And there's full catering for all the people on the show. And there's like some sweets as well for the kids because there's plenty of kids there. And on me and my friend, I can't remember who it was, all we keep hearing is about how much Craig Charles loves sherbet. Right? Loves sherbet. It's his favourite thing in the world. And we are 10, 11 years old. So we think they mean flying saucers, like because they had the flying saucers thing. So my parents and all the other adults clearly knew this, right? But me and my friends are like, they're like, "Get the sherbet before Craig Charles does," and we're like, we would hoard these space invaders because we were so convinced that at one point Craig Charles was going to come around for all the sherbet sweets. It wasn't until I was 19 or 20, I think I was in a nightclub and somebody offered me Coke as a sherbet, and I went, no.
To be fair, yeah.
That's so funny.
Them voiceovers were, you know what I mean, passionate.
Yeah, he was
you-
hyped on it. So
Yeah.
hyped.
Yeah, man, robots fighting each other. Of course you're hosting that on Coke.
Yeah, the idea was definitely brought up on Coke as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. But we're going to have to get you out of here, man.
Yeah, I've got
Thanks
some
so
things.
much for coming on. You've got a book out.
I do. Everyone You Hate Is Going to Die. You can buy it online. If you've not seen my specials, they are on Netflix and just Daniel Sloss. Google it.
Is right. Nice one for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. I'm going to go see it out and then I'll come back and do 5 minutes. Yeah, so Daniel's gone. Very grateful that he come on. I was just chatting to him walking out because I had to let him out with this card. Chatting to him walking out and he's like, "Yeah, I'll be back in October, November, something like that. We'll come and do it again more time."
Nice.
And I was like, "Oh, we'll be in a new studio by then, hopefully, and it'll be in town and we can probably have a smoke and whatever, do a sick one." And he's like, "Yeah." And then, you know, the revolving gate.
Yeah.
I was like, "Boop." And he was like, "Okay." So we already had the awkward moment. He went to fist bump me. I went to handshake him.
God, no.
And then he shook my hand and I went, "Oh, power play." That's what I said to him. I went, "Power play?" And he went, "Yep, see ya." And then, boop, crunk, didn't work. Boop, crunk, didn't work. I was like, what's going on? Boop, dip, didn't work again. And I was like, fuck. So I went, "Screw you out the way a sec." Done it. The whole gate things, but it only goes around one thing at a time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So he let it go and was like, "All right, yeah, see ya."
Oh, no.
Because he missed the rotation of it. And I was like, "Oh, just tapping
Just go, Daniel.
I was like, have a nice day. Lovely to meet you, mate. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Oh, fucking, yeah." And I was just like, "Yeah, bye."
Funny that. He was so nice though, wasn't he, man?
Yeah, it was lovely.
Yeah, sorry if we didn't get to any questions.
Oh, he just speaks so good.
He was
Yeah, I stopped hosting the podcast and just was a listener to the podcast.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, he just speaks really well, doesn't he? Like, because he's got so much experience.
Unfortunately, he had to get off because he'd come here on his way to an engagement party, just as a favour for us.
Very nice of him.
So we'll do another one with him in the future and be longer and stuff, and we get more out of him.
Big
But
Sloss.
he's just great, isn't he? Make sure you go watch some of his stand up and that.
Do you want to? Should we maybe tell? Oh no, should we talk about the live show and stuff?
Yeah, we can do. We can
And
do whatever.
do you wanna,
yeah. We still got. So we got
Do
Dean
you want to
set.
sit here?
Wanna come over
Yeah,
here?
I'm gonna come over there. I'm gonna
Is
come
right.
over. Right.
Woo!
Get ready.
Will you just stop that camera recording? Yeah. Tom's had a second edible. The red one. No, there's a red one on the side somewhere.
Did you say a red one then?
A red one. Getting a bit of
red
dry mouth. Hey!
I can smell Daniel's spittle.
Spittle.
He's must.
So the live show was dead fun, which is on our Patreon now. We had a great night. It was funny that he said metal loaf. I would have brought it up if we had longer, but
Oh yeah, I did think that. Oh look, see what I was when I'm not in the fucking hot seat, dude.
You're integral to this
I know.
podcast, Tom.
See, that's all we got you in here for. You even said
Fucking
that.
hell, man. I did.
There
Yeah.
we go. They're back on.
I used to be in this mic's so big.
I've never seen one this big before.
I never seen Mike so big.
So yeah, the live show was great. Go check it out. It's on our Patreon. It's dead funny. But then we done the set, which is also going to be on Patreon this week. That Amy wrote me a set, and I had no idea what it was, and I had to go and perform it in front of an audience who had no idea what it was either.
I essentially did stand up by proxy.
And it, unfortunately for everyone, it absolutely crushed.
Dean said it was bigger laughs than he's ever got doing stand up.
I didn't say ever got.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't say ever got.
That's
what
what I
said was it's a laugh that I don't think I can ever get.
Yeah.
Because the laugh was like so uncomfortable, but people were like screaming, laughing.
He's writer. Is that writing for?
She is
I'm a writer.
going to, Tom.
No pay.
Because I've never felt life like it. It was a thrill. I can't get again.
But I give you tags and that sometimes, don't I?
Yeah, she does already.
Nice.
But like
I need to get the laptop. Sorry.
Like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We've got
the
stuff on
laptop?
phones and that. Like, if it's on the laptop, it's dead. Sorry, everyone. We'll get to it next time. But like before I was going on, like my heart was fucking racing.
Yeah, because
it was like I'd never gigged before.
Did you look at the paper when you went on stage, or did you not look at it before a few seconds before?
I didn't see it until I opened it and I was
That's good,
in front of the
That's
mic,
boss.
and I was like,
And you delivered it so well, considering you can barely read.
I can't read that word.
Neither can I, mate. So
I know, yeah.
But I think because I was in such a heightened state of mind being on stage, I was like,
yeah,
perfect.
adrenaline just taking over.
But I got off stage and some fella asked me if I was an actor.
I believe so. Yeah. And
Like-
you just haven't got the face for telly, Dean.
Hey. Hey man, that's why I do a podcast.
I remember Katie Tracy once went to me. She was like, "You've got a face for television, Tom." And I was just on cloud 9. 3 weeks after.
That's
I was
such
like,
like
you know
an
what?
old
I
lady
did do a little bit of acting when I was younger.
Are you ready to be a horrible skull in our film?
Yeah. Well, you wanted to talk about your progress on your movie, didn't you?
Just that we've got someone, Cameron Jones.
Cameron Jones.
Yeah.
Patreon, shout out.
Jonesy.
Yeah. He's an open mic circuiter in there.
An
Is
open
it?
mic circuit.
Circuiter.
I
Circuiter.
think he's on the open.
He's
I
on
think
the
he's an
open
open
mic
spot.
circuit.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's got a master's in filmmaking and he's into all that and got all the equipment and he's very kindly said that he'd help us out. So shout out that guy.
That's cool, isn't it?
Thank
Yeah, that's
you.
sick. That's so lucky as well, you know. to have,
Honestly,
like,
it's fate.
The
It is,
This film is meant to
universe.
be.
Tom.
lining,
Imagine if it just got picked up.
which was bought by fucking A24 Amy. That's what you were thinking
Oh,
immediately.
it's on
Netflix.
Netflix. Hey,
Netflix.
imagine
Oh,
it
yeah,
just straight to
4.
Netflix.
Yeah,
Do you know?
first Channel 4, then Netflix buys it because Drake mentions that it's good. That's how Top Boy got remade. On Netflix,
Oh
so,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Drake's already tweeting about it. I think.
That's what I
Yeah,
mean.
Drake, leave us alone. Funnily enough, we have got Drake on
Yeah,
in a few
he's
weeks.
on next week.
Yeah.
you want to talk about the races
Put
before we
out
wrap
to
it
the
up?
universe.
Yeah, it was
How
not.
was it?
Yeah, it was good, to be honest, mate. I went to the Grand National. Me, 2 brothers. This is on my dad's side, you see. My dad shagged loads, so I've got brothers and sisters just on his side, like half brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So it was me, my 2 half brothers, and my half sister, my girlfriends, and their partners, and it was good. I didn't think the Grand National would be my kind of thing.
You just got involved because you were there.
I'll be honest, mate. As soon as you get like your suit on, and you get there, and everyone's just happy. Do you know what I mean? It was really good. I'd go again. Again. I'd like to see yous come, but I want to know what suit you'd wear.
We don't do animal
Dumb and Dumber
racing.
suit.
No. I mean, I would for the laughs.
No, but not even for a laugh. Just to look nice. And
If I was going to look nice, I wouldn't wear a Dumb and Dumber suit.
Yeah.
What are you on about?
oh, so, I just mean like,
I would go the races in a Dumb and Dumber suit if that's what you're asking
just
me.
for a laugh.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be like, I'm serious here.
It was sick though, right? Because after the races, I never won anything, by the way. No winners. Oh no, I did. I won £2.50.
Woo!
Yeah. But then when we were leaving the races, there was people selling flip flops to women.
Oh,
like
yeah.
like a £5 a flop.
Yeah.
And they must have they raked it in.
Yeah.
And
With
then,
Merseyrail not giving them away this year?
no, is that what they did?
Years ago, I made made a status about it that went quite thingy. I saying like, it's something about not like the races. No, it says classy like fucking orange women sniffing beak off a Merseyrail flip flop. Yeah. Something like that.
Well, it was funny because we went to Entry train station to go into town for a drink, and you're obviously sardines in. Everyone's trying to get on the train, but they had these 2 guys in like they had a stage on, and they were wearing like gold sequin jackets.
Yeah,
and they'd be like, and they were like crowd working.
Oh, in Entry station.
Yeah. So they're on the stage and they'd be like, trains every 10 minutes, guys. No need to push and shove. Here's a bit of Venga boys. And they'd go like that for a bit, and then he'd stop it halfway through and go, woman in the blue dress, sing it to me. All that.
Funny they have to like pick songs that don't say push in it. Like, don't push and shove. Here's salt and pepper with push it. No, turn it off.
I think that's where I had pushed the button.
Oh yeah.
It's been stuck in my head for weeks. Sugar Babes, push the button.
Yeah. Or you heard it in my car.
That's also quite possible. That X Factor playlist does get tedious.
Some tunes on that playlist.
Should be Shane Ward, Leona Lewis. Oh, yeah. How many other X Factor winners can you name?
It's funny, we made a playlist for the live show. We were like, some of them would be bangers, some of them would just be cool tunes.
I'm glad you did as well, because the first live show, whenever we got there, and it was all like, hallelujah. And I was like, what's going on with these? And
it was funny, right? Because when we made the playlist, we would put it out for people if they want the playlist. We were putting songs in because we were like, oh, this will be a funny one. Yeah. And it was like Scooter.
Oh, you were ready.
And as soon as it started, we were like, turn it off,
Because people are going to be sitting there going, he's an into Scooter.
Yeah. Amy looked at me and went, why have we put this in? I went, you asked for this. And I ran up and turned it off.
So much pressure, whether it's just sitting in a mate's, having a joint or whatever, or in a car, putting songs on.
Yeah.
I fucking rack my brain, you know.
I don't mind it, mate.
And if I don't, because you think you're fucking a DJ.
No.
Oh, I thought you meant because you think you've got such good taste in music.
No, because I like, one of my favourite things is showing people music they've never heard, and then that becoming like one of their favourite things to listen to.
It's the worst.
You know what I mean?
It was the worst experience ever when you show someone music and they're like, the fuck's this, lad?
Well, I feel like I can pick moments quite well.
Was it Alex Rowley who put a song on in our car?
Yeah. Get well, Alex, lad. Get well, mate.
Yeah.
Not that he watches this. Probably can't use a fucking mouse to all that.
What's her name? MIA.
MIA, yeah.
And she's got a song, I think, called Birds. No.
That's her though, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's just all about birds. And that's
just naming birds in it.
That was the song we requested.
Like peacock, cassowary, pigeon.
Yeah. Have you heard it?
No.
It sounds like
it was weird for weird. Is exactly what it was.
I think you're MIA's biggest fan. So, yeah, I don't know. It was mad. That was Sloss on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This was mad for us. Like, you got to understand, this is a bit of behind the scenes here. Well, that was mad for us.
Well, with Amy writing the set for you, do you reckon you'd do it again?
I think people are going to enjoy it and want it again.
It has to be in the right room, though, because it wouldn't have landed in certain rooms. No, I think it would have worked well in hot water. But you know, like, there's some gigs, like I've done some gigs in like cricket clubs and that.
Oh no, yeah,
we did a bit older and stuff because it was in Lafayette, Manchester, every Thursday. Go check it out.
Great
It's a
gig,
boss night. They let me come down and just do this, and it could have absolutely tanked the night. You could have like.
Oh, like when he was getting ready to go up and he was like shitting himself, and I was like, "It'll be fine. Don't worry, you'll do fine." And he was like, "You don't know that." and I didn't know that, and
It was
I was
awful.
like,
Yeah,
it was
like
just
someone else taking your fucking bullet as
Yeah,
well. You know what I mean?
yeah. Like. But I mean, I was relaxed because I wasn't doing it, and it was all his idea, so I didn't necessarily feel that guilty.
How long was the set? How long did you
About
have
lasted
to
about
minutes.
5-ish.
Is there any little, because we don't want to give anything away because we want to see it on the Patreon, but is there any little killer lines that just, like, you thought, that's brilliant, that? Or that got a huge
I
laugh?
laughed at. There was some. I'm laughing.
What? Go on,
I
give us
was
one.
crying
Give us one.
because of how people were reacting. I was so overwhelmingly happy that people were laughing. That I had such a good time doing it. 'Cause as soon as I got the first big laugh, I went, "Oh, all right,
Okay,
this
we'll
is
be doing
gonna
this
fun
again.
now." But it's just the whole thing shifted for me. In my head, all I had was, I'm going to start talking, and the room's going to be silent for 5 minutes.
To be fair, I'm a little bit gutted it wasn't that.
Yeah.
And that's what
and
I expected. I spent the whole time thinking that was how it's. There was no part of me that thought this is going to crush to the point where people are going to be like, "You should do that for
Are
your
you an
set."
actor?
Someone was like, "You should do this for your set." A comedian.
Honestly,
That's cheeky.
honestly,
So cheeky.
but you know
lad.
what it was though. This is what I said to Amy. Like, I don't think I can get them laughs, that type of laugh on my own, because my natural reaction to it, I was laughing, but what I was saying was so horrific. And like it was just
you have
weird.
to be sadistic.
It was just a weird thing that won't happen from me writing stand up.
Yeah.
The reaction
Yeah.
from the crowd, because they were like, "What the fuck is this?"
Because
That's
crowds
gone
aren't
off, but it
stupid
doesn't
as
matter,
well.
we'll go in a sec.
Crowds know, don't they, when you're fucking
Yeah, I
when
think
it's
you could-
forced, when it's forced or rehearsed
That's
too
it.
much and stuff
yeah,
like that.
and
So
I don't think I can replicate that in my own
Oh,
stand up.
that's it. So it's the thing that makes stand up so good is delivering it like you've never said it before.
That's
Is
it.
it because
Yeah.
you
Well,
just
that's
never
what's
said
meant
That's
it
where
to
you
be.
want to
before?
get
That's what
there
it's
with
meant to be,
stand
Yeah,
up.
but because he'd never seen it before.
was
That's
never-
why they loved it.
I was
do you know
never-
what I mean?
Yeah.
I always remember Tom Sullivan saying that, a Liverpool comedian, and he was like, "I don't mind when people go on stage with notes." Do you know what I mean? He's like,
Yeah.
"That's fine." He's like, "But don't acknowledge them because it just ruins the whole illusion." You know what I mean? Like, we know people who've done it, and we've got mates who do it and that, but it still does me head in when people do the tick. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
oh, that didn't go
yeah.
too well. That's not going in.
Yeah.
It's
Put
such
that
an
in the
out.
maybe pile.
I don't like
Yeah.
it. I just don't like it when people do it.
You know what I don't like? When people go, "I've got notes. Here's me notes." Put the notes down. Do material that I've seen them do for like 6 months, and then they go, "That new bit worked well." And the crowd I'm like, "You lying
Yeah,
bastard."
but the crowd don't know any of the
The crowd
words,
are
so
like,
they're
"Oh my
lapping it
God,
up. Yeah,
he only wrote that today." It's
Yeah,
like, did he
yeah.
fuck? He might have wrote the last word in it today.
Yeah.
But the joke, yeah, it's mad. That
Can you not remember any little lines from Amy's piece?
There's so this is I told Callum a line from a little bit.
I can
from the-
remember them. I just don't want to spoil
Yeah.
it yet.
from
One,
the
just give us
poem.
one, so just to make them go and fucking watch it.
I'm telling you.
Go on.
From the poem that I told Callum,
Yeah.
and he was like crying.
Oh, there's a poem in it, by the way.
Yeah, it finished with
Ends
a
on a
poem.
hole.
So, oh God, what was it? It was Nan's tits, ferret clits, a semen demon. That was a line from the
Semen
poem.
Demon was my favourite one.
Yeah.
Semen Demon's
So,
great.
but like, because people were loving it. When I got to the poem, I was like, I'm gonna deliver this poem like boss.
Proper spoken word.
So I done it like
Like a jazz night.
yeah, the rhythms I put into it. Just and like I even looked at the crowd at one point, like wanking, like you know, like it's just dead
Eye
funny.
contact with woman on the front row.
And we watched it back the day after, and I was like, I was crying laughing
Nice.
at
I
it.
can't
'Cause
wait to see it.
the whole thing's just it's so natural, like
Yeah.
because it is the first time I'm seeing it. And I think that's what made it so good. And then the
Yeah.
fact that everyone was enjoying it meant I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm in this now.
And just we saw like the apprehension of just when he's walking dead slow, like a
Mad
funeral.
World's playing.
Procession. Yeah, Mad World.
It was mad, man. The whole thing was just mad. And then I tried to do I had 10
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll just go. Oh, no, that's done. Let's try and do stand up. And I tried to do one, and he laughed. But I went,
Yeah.
what's the point?
Wasn't as good as my stuff.
Because it weren't the same reaction. It was.
made the
So I just
contact.
went. Look, I'm just gonna get off. I've got a podcast. Go have a look. Nice one. And got off. Like, But yeah, it was laughs that I can't get on my own.
Yeah.
The reaction of the
Mad.
crowd, it was mad.
Like,
sick, man.
yeah, people coming up to me and like shaking my hand and being like, that was really good.
well written, yeah.
I didn't expect that at all. I was
Man's tip
trying
fed a
to,
clit is
Yeah.
a good one.
I was
Seaman
trying to
demon.
make
Demon.
So that's going to be on our
exact
Patreon this weekend now. So if you want to see that, sign up there. And there's 2 live shows and fucking loads of other shit on there. Go sign
Yep.
up to the Patreon. Join the club. £3 a month. Fuck all that. You get loads of sick stuff.
The live show was brilliant as well.
They've both been sick.
Proper laugh.
The next one, the tickets
Thursday,
will be out soon. Should I say it on this one? Who the guest is? Patrons will
well,
know already.
The patrons know.
Jamie
them, yeah.
Hutchinson's our guest on the next live show. It's going to be fucking sick. Get on it.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't do it, that's because that's just how Jamie Hutchinson is, and we're dead sorry. But as of this moment right now, it's Jamie. Where we going? Going into town for some scan?
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything?
Love you all.
Love you all. Do you want to
that's
say anything,
really-
Tom?
Crack on.
Crack on with your lives, everyone.
Crack
I
on.
hope everyone's having a
Moaning,
lovely
crack
day.
on.
Don't
Daniel
kill
Sloss was
yourselves.
great.
Try not to kill yourself.
Sign up to the Patreon.
Have a doob.
Have a dub, everyone. Happy 420.
Treat yourself.
Woo! Oh yeah, it's 4:20.
That's
Nice.
420 tomorrow.
Time doesn't exist.
Love yous.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.